welcome back. Although I will say, your student is quite good. You should be proud. Oh, good morning and welcome home to the Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation. I'm Alan Worley, President of the Board of Trustees for the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Announcements, most of them are up there. Today, after the service, as quickly as possible, will be our annual congregational meeting to vote on budget for next year and elect officers for the next year, and a few other interesting items. Please read Community Connections, because that's where all the information goes. Cuts down on the amount of paper we have to print. Tuesday nights at 7 is Taco Tuesday, our online chat room. A lot of fun. If you get the announcements, you get the link. If you need the link, let us know. We'll get it to you. As you see, important upcoming events number 2, Reverend Maggie and George will be on vacation next week. And then Tracy, who's our bookkeeper, will be on vacation from the 28th to the 14th. So we need to just coordinate expenses and payments. Flower communion. Some people don't like the word communion. It's a flower exchange. Although from the 60s, I remember communes as being good things. Kind of. We do have a church retreat at the Benneville Pines coming up in the 9th of June. So please, if you can make it, we'll miss you here, but you'll have a lot of fun up there. Hope Partners is always in need of our food gifts and our monetary gifts. That's the basket during offering to use. And we've had some really good services the last 6 months. And if you want to review any of them, they're on YouTube. So go to YouTube. The links are in the community connection, but if you just don't have that link, just go to YouTube and search for Monte Vista UU, and it'll come up and you can see our list of services, and it's a good way to get a refresh. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It is so good to see you all here on this annual meeting day. And we have the choir. We have Lily back with her sore finger. It still hurts? No. Thank you. We also have people among us and probably people at home watching on Zoom. Hello, we greet you. We welcome you here among us, who are celebrating the anniversary of their first breath. Who's had a birthday in May? Oh, look at them out. Oh, very cool, Riley. Paula, and a few others. Lily, Jimmy, no, who else? Oh, Jill, right, yeah. So normally we sing a happy birthday once a month, and rather than name all of these folks and risk leaving someone out, we'll just say happy birthday, May babies. So if everybody would sing along, yeah, let's sing our happy birthday greeting this morning.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
This morning, with the ringing of the bowl, we sound it once for those who came before, the Tongva and other indigenous peoples who lived on this land long ago, for our ancestors and our founding members. We ring it once for those of us here and now, and those of us joining us online. We have 8 connections today. For our members, our friends, our staff, our visitors, and all of the UUs all over the world that are gathering this morning for worship. And we ring it once for those who will come, for all who will walk beside us on this unfolding path. And I invite you to stand. We're going to sing a little opening medley. We're going to sing Gathered Here and then kind of swirl it into Spirit of Life. So I invite you to stand as you're comfortable and sing out. Please be seated. And I invite Maribel Dana to come up and light our chalice. Our chalice lighting words today come from Roddy Bell Shelton Biggs, from the chalice lighting that was used at the 2022 General Assembly Communion Service. It was titled In the Holy Presence. As we gather in this moment, we sense the energies of the Spirit of Life as it settles among her people. Here and now, in its presence, we kindle our sacred flame, calling to remembrance our beloved community and all of the ancestors who tended it before us. Our flame is now ablaze, so arrive here and settle, beloveds, for here we are tended by that Spirit of Life, surrounded by the warmth of familiarity and held by our belonging in the presence of the hallowed flame of our faith. Blessed be. And I invite you to join me as we speak our covenant together. The words to it are printed in your order of service. Jaryus has also got them on our screen. Great. Thank you, Jaryus. We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to find hope in times of fear, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as a beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Robert Tidwell, our Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration, up. He will give us our wisdom tale for today. The title is Shining Through, and it's written by James Cruz from his book, Kindness Will Save the World.
Good morning, everybody. As I sit on a bench perched at the edge of this island in Maine, I think to myself, the ocean is kind to these black stones stacked here on the shore. Every few moments, when the tide is coming in, they meet the force of the water splashing against them, and for the trouble of staying put and meeting life head on, they are buffed to a deep gleam as soon as the sun strokes them. They are cleared of all the debris that clung to them and invited to awaken to life again and again with every incoming rush of freezing water now engulfing them. The same is true for us, of course, though I've only recently begun to accept this. Just a few days ago, while forced to lie still in bed as the waves of unfelt emotions finally surfaced and began to buffet me, I thought about how, if we allow ourselves to be authentic, we are each worn down to live in our own ways. Like those stones, our hardness and our sharp edges are slowly removed until we welcome all that washes over us, pleasant and unpleasant, even when it seems to threaten who we think we are. Perhaps in our growth, the eventual goal is to become like the water itself, to erode so fully into our love for the world, every piece of us flows in and flows out. Knowing no distinctions and simply going around obstacles instead of pushing against them. I lean back on the bench, sipping my coffee, seeing I have a long way to go before I come even close to stone or water in my ability to meet life head on. I feel into the moment, letting whatever arises slip through the cracks in the protective armor so many of us put on after difficult childhoods, traumas, and violence. Yet this morning I saw a glimmer of hope. I saw the ocean crashing and stretching out blue before me, and I thought, if I practice feeling what I feel and hold on to my joy instead of short-circuiting it with worry, I can get better at letting my authentic self come shining through, rising to the surface in an instant, like the glint of a single abalone shell that the water kindly leaves behind on the bench for us to find. Thank you. And now if Jaryus can put the words on the screen and Riley can come up and get our chalice, we can go to our classroom.
Have a great time. For our offering message today, I thank you for your generous hearts. And as we wind down the last few weeks of our fiscal year, and we gather on this day that we hope to adopt our budget for the year ahead, part of putting that next budget into place is the importance of the fulfilling of the commitments that we've made in our pledges to this year's strong financial footing. So let's take this moment to offer our gratitude for the ways we've all stepped up and stepped in to keep our financial commitments for this year. Our pledges are so essential to the support of this community and the work that we're doing to strengthen our future together. Sharing our offerings as community is a privilege and an expression of good stewardship that blesses us all. Giving generously from a grateful heart is one way that we live out our desire to be good stewards of this congregation. It shows the ways we believe that this is my church and I belong here, and we offer our promised support through all of the ways that we keep our pledges of our gifts of time, talent, and treasure. We invite you to bring your offerings online by clicking on the donate button at the bottom of the online order of service, or in the link in the Zoom chat box. If you could put that in there, Jaryus, thank you, thank you. Or it's also on the homepage of our website. But if you wish to bring an offering that you have with you today, please come forward now while we listen to the beautiful offertory that Lily's prepared for us. And leave your gifts and your non-perishable items for the Beta Center at Inland Valley Hope Partners on the altar. And it is with deep gratitude for the many gifts of our community that our offerings will now be given and received. Beautiful. Thank you, Lily. Good to have you back. Sharing our joys and concerns, our delights and our disappointments is a part of our congregational life that we really treasure and celebrate each week. I have several that were left in the basket in the back. One of them doesn't have a name on it, but they wish to celebrate the joy of this summer weather. We actually had a thunderstorm right by our house last night. We got caught in the rain while we were walking Sophie. It was kind of romantic, actually. And that was their joy, and a concern is big life changes. So I'm with you there. I don't know who that was, but we are join you. Catherine wrote this beautiful, beautiful and sad concern. She's grieving because her 25-year-old beautiful, beloved, therapeutic garden at her work is being destroyed yesterday with bulldozers to make room for building a nursery to raise succulents. Yeah. And we all have a joy we can celebrate, because on this upcoming Wednesday, May 24th, Jimmy Grissom will be granted 2, not 1, but 2 AAS degrees from San Bernardino Valley College. Jimmy will participate in the graduation ceremony wearing this lovely outfit he's brought to share with us today. And he'll receive 1 associate's degree in applied science in music and another in humanities. And we have a little gift for Jimmy. You can wear this to your ceremony, I think. They might let you. But this is a lei, and it's made from dollar bills. So, yay, Jimmy. Can I put this on you? Yeah. You need to take your hat off. Show us off when you go to graduation. I have something else to share from Kathy Olson that is both a joy and a grief. She shared at our group that met this week that she and Dick would have celebrated their 29th anniversary today. Now, that's kind of sweet, yeah. She asked that I share that with all of you. And another super joy, sorry about this roller coaster, right? It's like life really is. But this is from Louis Tant. He says, Lorraine and I are extremely proud of our son Austin, who just committed to play baseball at Olympic College in Bremerton, Washington, to study engineering. Yeah, yay. Yay, Austin. He says, it's been a long journey to get to this point. We will definitely miss him, but we know that he'll be successful in the classroom as well as on the ball field. Go Rangers. and for the joys and the sorrows, the delights and disappointments that remain in the silent places of our hearts. We light our candle of hope and witness. I invite you to join me in a time of shared meditative silence that will be followed by a prayer. Join as you're comfortable. Maybe settle into your seat a little differently. Let the soles of your feet rest flat on the floor. Sense your connection to the earth beneath us. We breathe together. We conspire. We are conspirers of peace. In and out. Breathe in peace and breathe out love. And we pray together as we reach and tug on the apron strings of the universe, the very fabric of potentiality, the hem of God's garment. We imagine and invite the relief that might be available for all of the suffering in our world. We imagine the best possible outcomes for these unusual days and bring a lift to our hearts that are both wearily fragile and also unbreakably strong. As we clear the way for healing to come and we welcome new visions that bring sudden gasps of hope. We hold on to one another while also holding what we have seen of the suffering with long, deep tangles. We are creating courageous space, stepping up and jumping in to accompany those in need as we are able. May we also find the nourishment that we need to keep ourselves well and centered in the strength of our highest selves. May it ever and always be so. Amen, and blessed be. And I invite you to remain seated and calm as we sing, "There is a Love." Our reading today comes from one of my favorite new poets, Chilan Harkin. I know some of you have recently discovered her work in other areas of life. This one comes from her book, Let Us Dance, the Stumble and Whirl with the Beloved. It's called Sacred Experiment. Today, will you join me in a sacred experiment? Just for today, let's stop pretending that love is a snob for whom we'll never be good enough. Today, let's gift ourselves the dark chocolate of our shadow. Let's bring love down from the mountaintop to flood our lowlands too. Let's cease making love a ravishing, lofty destination and bring her down to earth. Let her join us in each ordinary step. Today we can decide our imperfect heart is worthy of love right now, just as it is, without dressing it up. What if love desires more of a collapse than a straight spine? More of a willingness to stumble than a perfect step? What if she's offering her hand to you now before you've even learned the dance? So darling, let's stop perfecting our grapes and today allow our acceptance to surrender us into wine. Yes, just for today. Let's just see how all that goes. That's beautiful. We are We are putting it together. Thank you. Perfect choice. The Irish spiritual author, mystical poet, and ordained Catholic priest, John O'Donohue, wrote often about the thin places, those liminal locations where we're able to experience a noticeable shift in energies, a place that feels a bit like magic is offering us a clearer perspective on our soul's location, or a deeper sense of the sacred or mystical, or a threshold between the worlds. Thin places name those moments where we stand, even if just for a few breaths, in an awareness where we sense the presence of the transcendent, perhaps standing alone before the ocean, or while hiking up our beautiful San Gabriels, or in our recliner at home. No matter where our body is located, we might wonder if we've slipped into a dream state or been given a glimpse across the veil. Thin place experiences help us to wonder more deeply, to love ourselves with wild abandon, and to open toward new ways of being in the world. We struggle for the language to describe a thin place experience, but more often than not, we poo-poo them and we shake off the sacred, focus on more important things like the TV news or all those emails. But we might get a bit unnerved by a sensation of fragility, or we fear we might lose our firm grasp of reality if we let go of the ordinary things that we hold so tightly. But what we might learn is being ordinary and staying small is not why we're here. As Becky Hemsley tells us, you're not here to be ordinary. I know what you're thinking, but what's so extraordinary about me? Well, you are so extraordinary that the moon has to move oceans just to erase your footprints from the beach. You are so important that the earth itself pulls you close to stop you from floating away. You are so full of wonder that your eyes contain more atoms than there are stars in the known universe. And if you think of all the people you love the most, you realize that the way in which you love them is not in the least bit ordinary. You love with such power, such passion, and such fire that it is comparable only to the sun. No, you're not here to be an ordinary thing in an ordinary world. The world itself knows that you're not. It knows that you are magic. Yes, the world knows you are magic, and we gather together here in this thin place to learn, to grow, to be inspired, and to come more fully into our purposeful, magical selves. Stop minimizing the love that we bring, to no longer shut down or ignore those nudges that we sense pulling us toward more growth, and to listen to them instead. To keep learning new things about ourselves, good and bad, because no matter how woke we believe we are, and discovering the deeper ways that we can still change and become better humans is why we're here. May it always be the biggest part of our mission to keep growing, even if we think we're there already, or that because of our age we've done enough growth work. Because as William S. Burroughs has told us, when you stop growing, you start dying. Our good friend, Reverend Tom Owen Toll, agrees and urges us to keep growing in his 2018 book, Growing All the Way to the Grave. Thank you, Reverend Ellen. I want to read the dedication. Did he move it? No, there it is. To my noble and valiant peers, plus the youngers of the world, who are also graying and will someday croak. May we all grow up, on and out with as much dignity as possible. So to all who will someday croak, may we all grow with as much dignity as possible. And may we always offer our visitors and our new members our deepest promise that we here in this congregation want to keep growing. A promise to keep growing has never been offered as an invitation in any faith tradition that I've ever been a part of before. Rather, many years of my spirit-seeking life have been spent in reverse, mining for inspiration in a backward search and research, excavating from the lives of ancient teachers and scrolls of teachings that were given in another time, much of it solid ground for planting. But for many outside those traditions, the ancient teachings lack the forward motion of continued expansion and growth that bring the change needed to birth a new world, a world of inclusion, justice, and peace. We must be willing to promise the growth and change that the world is desperately seeking right now. It needs it so much. And many young people have given up on receiving it from a religious institution. But I and many of you believe that Unitarian Universalism provides that now, and that we're growing into a better future when we can provide it like no one else can and do our part to help heal the world. But we must be promising one another that we will keep growing as well, and inviting those we meet in our lives, in the world, come grow with us. Richard Rohr, Franciscan priest and writer on spirituality, names it when he says, "All of our words, our dogmas, rituals are like children playing in a sandbox before the infinite mystery and wonderment. People who choose to sincerely search will touch upon the truth in every age and culture while using their own different languages, symbols, and rituals. Yet they all point us in the same direction, toward promised growth. The direction is always toward more love and more union in ever-widening circles." I love that. The direction is always toward more love and more union in ever-widening circles. Yes, indeed it is. And here we are to promise and to say, come grow with us. We're growing, and we promise to keep growing. We've come so far, and we promise to keep going. We've done a lot of hard work, and we promise to keep working. But let's not minimize what it means to keep growing, because it's hard work, and we need each other to do it. But we will be digging into that theme of growing on future Sundays. But today, as we pause to make good decisions together that will help us grow, we also pause to honor each and every one of us who has worked together to stay together during the plague that was named COVID-19. We know how hard it has been on us, and we know intimately all we have done to be standing strong in this here and now moment. So we take a moment to exhale and say, wow, as we celebrate this, our annual meeting day. It doesn't give us much rest before we get right back to work in order to stay afloat. But the time will come in a few weeks as we make the transition in our elected officers, where we will properly thank Ellen Worley as a congregation. But we can start now. When I stop and think about who supported me, who was there, who invited me, who supported me, who walked with me, who listened to me, who taught me, it was Alan and Bob Taylor as vice president in the thick of it all. Thank you both. It's probably true that the best way we can honor all of our leadership and all that they've done for us is to recover and stay strong and promise to keep growing. A promise to look at hard things and be willing to change them. A promise to re-envision our vision in ways that bring in more who need us. Promise to grow and invite others to come grow with us because we want to keep growing and becoming more open and green and healing old hurts by medicating the sore spots with new hope. And we want to be changed by what we've learned. I find it so fitting and beautiful that we're about to call our annual meeting to order in the shadow of a beautiful new moon. A time for us to allow new beginnings, time to dream, plan, and discover, a refresh. New moons bring a time when, after embracing all that we have gratefully been given by her darkness, we notice and rejoice that everything is getting ever so brighter from here. And we say yes to new ways and incredible possibilities. May it be so. Amen. And blessed be. Let's sing our sending song with all of our hearts. It's Come Sing a Song With Me, a song of hope. That sounded great. Let's recite together our benediction as Maribel comes and extinguishes our chalice flame that we will relight when the meeting begins. We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection or our sense of belonging. We carry our concern for each other, for our faith, and for the world. So until we are together again, friends, be strong, be true, be well, and be kind.